Hey everybody, this is Kevin with Texas Yardman and More, and today's video is on the prickly pear cactus. And I'm here in central Texas. This is actually at my house, and this is the prickly pear cactus that has no spines. So even though you don't see the sharp spines coming out of here, it still does have little spines that you can't see on each of those little dots that you see here in this video. So you got to be careful of those, but most of the cactus you see, they'll have the sharp spines coming out of it. This is the variety that doesn't have it. So I was very fortunate to get one of these paddles from my neighbor across the street, and I planted it in the ground, and this is what you see now. So they grow like crazy. They love the sun, they need very little water, and they just thrive here in Texas. So you can see that these are the little tunas that are coming off of it, and these will turn dark purple. And when you see them turn that purple color, you can actually pick these off and eat them, and they are loaded with vitamin C. So wildlife love to eat these. And today's video is we're gonna pick a few of these, which I've already done, and I have them in the refrigerator, but you just simply would break off one of these at the nodule right here, and you can actually eat this. And they're very beneficial, very healthy to eat, and that's what today's video is about. So here we are with the prickly pear cactus. We'll go inside now and we'll prep one of these. All right, we're inside now, and I've got my prickly pear cactus. It's been sitting in the fridge, and these are the paddles, or the ears, that I broke off from the cactus. And what we need to do now is we need to break off all these little nodules here where the spines typically come out. This is the spineless version, but there's some minute spines that come out of these little nodules, so we got to remove those. So that'll be the first step. And I've got my trusty purple chef knife featured in one of my other videos, and I've got my tongs here, and we're just going to simply hold this up and just kind of scrape this across the paddle till those break off. And we'll just keep doing that on this whole paddle. And this really helps that this was the spineless version, but you just got to get those little small microscopic ones that you can't see. And then we'll do that other side. And then what we want to do is we want to trim around this paddle, and we're just going to trim off maybe an inch or a quarter inch to 1/8. Just go around this paddle. Then we'll take this border piece off. Then we'll come around to this side, do the same thing. There, we got that piece. And the smell coming off of this is a really nice smell. I'm going to cut this end off here too. And now we're left with the trimmed up paddle here, and we're just going to simply cut these in strips, long ways. It smells really good. And these are really good for you to eat. Wildlife eat them, wild pigs, any kind of critter will eat these. And we're going to cut them up in little squares. for cutting crosswise here. And you could use a fillet knife, or you could use a really super sharp knife. But this works fine too. And there we got these little squares like so. And so we're going to go ahead and do the other one. When you scrape it with the knife like this, you'll feel it breaking off those little nodules where the spines typically come out of. I'll flip it over and do the other side. And I'm just using the tongs to keep it from sliding pretty much. It's not so much for the spines because this is the spineless version, but all right, that one's done. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, and we're going to trim around the edges. There's that one. So you got a nice clean cut. And don't worry if you don't get it nice and smooth. It's not that big of a deal. Comes with practice. I'm kind of a beginner myself, so the main goal is to just get the outer edges off. And then we have that nice paddle with the edges removed. And then I'm going to try another knife that I have that's a little bit better made for it. So I've got this fillet knife, and that's cutting right through it. So I'm going to continue to use this, and I'm just going to cut crossways this time. This is a fillet knife. And then we'll just simply cut this way. Really doesn't matter. The idea is you can cut these up to the size that you want them to be. And what I'm going to end up doing is blanching these or boiling them for about 15 minutes in a pot, and that is the next step. Once we get these all cut up, we're going to put these in a pot of boiling water, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back, and I've got my pot of water here, and I've got some fresh garlic, and I'm going to simply just put this into the water. And I've got an onion here that was in the fridge. I'm just going to cut some of this up. And all this is for flavoring. And we'll just peel some of that in here. Put this into the water. And you can just throw the whole thing in there if you want. So we got that, and then we're going to add some salt. I've got some fresh sea salt here. We'll just add that. And now we've got our water, and now we have our nopales that I've diced up, and you always want to rinse them under cold water just to get any of that slime that comes off of them. You want to make sure they're clean, and then we're simply just going to pour it in here, and now we're going to cook these for about 15 minutes to soften them up. And we'll just simply put that over here on the stove, and I'll see if I can turn my camera over here and then maybe move the camera in. And I'm going to bring that pot over here to the stove. And we're going to turn the heat up to 8. We're going to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to back it off and let it simmer for 15 minutes or so. So we'll come back when they're nice and soft. See if I can get in here closer for you. So there's our nopales, and we're going to go ahead and give this a stir. Got that fresh garlic and that onion in there. We're just going to make all this goodness, and the aroma coming off of this is really nice. You know, most people wouldn't think that you could eat prickly pear cactus, but you can. It's got a lot of vitamins. It's got a lot of really good stuff in it. So I'll be back when we get ready to take this off. We're just going to boil it. Here we are. We've got our nopale, and these are the beans that we're going to be using. I'm going to be putting the nopales in with these beans. These are charro beans that are the spicy flavor, and I picked these up at HEB. These are so good. And so I'm going to add the nopales once they're cooked, mixed in with these beans, and they are absolutely delicious. And this is another brand that's really good, ranch style beans. You can mix it in with these as well. Also, you can buy this at HEB and maybe other stores, so really good beans. And so we're just waiting for the nopales to finish cooking. We'll come over here, and you can see that it's starting to bubble. So I'm going to turn down the heat, and we've got maybe 5 more minutes to go. And you can see the color on these. They've changed from a bright green almost to like the color of a green bean. So you know that they're getting cooked. So once these finish, we're going to strain them over in the sink, and then we're going to put them into this fry pan where I have a little bit of butter in there, real butter. And we're going to throw the beans in there, and then we're going to mix in our nopales. And these are absolutely amazing. I have a friend of mine who we went out hunting, and he made these one time, and I said, I've got to make these. And they are absolutely delicious. So be right back. All right, we're finished cooking these. We're going to take them off the stove, and we're going to bring them over here and rinse them in the sink. So I'm going to bring that pot over here. I got my colander here, and I'm going to run some warm water because we don't want them to be cold. And we're just going to go ahead and pour this into the sink. We're going to go ahead and just give them a shake here. And I'm going to reach over here and grab my tongs, and I'm going to take these big chunks of onion out of here. Once again, those were just in there for flavoring. And there's some garlic in there as well. You could leave that in there if you like. I'm gonna take it out. Most of it anyhow. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this over to our fry pan. And we're gonna put it in the hot pan here. Turning this around. And I've got my butter in here, and it's already warmed up, and I'll just give it a coating on the bottom of the pan. And then what I'm going to do is put in our spicy charro beans, and it looks like it's got some chilies in there and some tomato. It looks really good. And we're also going to turn up our heat. So we're doing 2 cans this time, and we're going to go ahead and stir it up. And we're going to heat this up. And this already probably has salt in it, so I'm not going to add any salt right now. We'll taste that at the end, and then we can adjust as needed. But we're going to go ahead and get this going. The butter in the bottom helps to lubricate the pan, but it also adds a little flavor to this, which I like. And we're going to go ahead and put in our nopalitos. And there's no right or wrong way in doing this. Don't be afraid to experiment. You can put whatever you like in your nopales. Just make it to however you like it. You can add additional spices if you like maybe some garlic powder, garlic salt, and just season it to taste. And the juices in that in the beans are actually, we're going to try to burn some of that juice off just to kind of get it as more of a thicker consistency. But I mixed my nopales in with these beans. I like it that way. You can cook it in many different ways. This is just how I chose to do it. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit, and then we're going to come back and then we'll plate it. So some people, they like to make their beans homemade, which is fine. It just takes longer. But if you're in a pinch and you need to save time, I love these beans. These are amazing beans. So I'm not plugging HEB. I'm not endorsed by them, but they make some really good products. And they sell them in their stores. And this is one of them. I really enjoy their charro beans. Charro means drunken bean. So that means it's in liquid, or it's cooked in liquid when they're initially made. So we're going to let that cook for a little bit, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go ahead and plate it. All right, we're back, and we got it at the consistency that I like it at. I like it a little bit thicker. And that's where it's at right now. It looks wonderful. And I've got some tortillas over here that I just heated up on the grill here. And I am ready to plate this. So I am going to go ahead and take that plate, or pan I should say, and bring it over here. And I've got a bowl all set. And I'm just simply going to take some of this and put it in this bowl. And that looks wonderful. And I got a little fresh cilantro here we'll put on the top. If you like cheese, you could probably even put some cheese on there. I'll sprinkle a little bit on there over the top. And the smell of that fresh cilantro is amazing. And that is how you make nopales, one way. There it is. And anybody can make this. You can use any prickly pear cactus pad. Just go out and pick you the freshest ones that are to the outside. And there are many other ways you can make this. This is just how I like to eat it, mixed in with charro beans. So if you enjoyed this video and you liked it, please continue to follow me. It helps my channel. Please give me a thumbs up and comment if you want, and hit that notification bell in the upper right hand corner. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks again, and have a great evening.